And welcome to week 4. This week, in week 4, you will be working through chapter 6, which is the ethical issues in research. I also have a couple of practical exercises for you that you'll be completing. So if you take a look at the week 4 learning outline, you'll see that there's an Indiana University plagiarism module that you're going to complete. It'll take plan on about 2 hours to complete that. And then you're going to do the city training, which is the human subjects informed review boards training that you need to have if you're going to conduct any sort of research. You're just going to go through those training modules this time around, this class, because it'll give you kind of a real world sense of what professors and what researchers need to do when they conduct research. So you'll be able to see kind of what we're asked to think about as well. So at the conclusion of each of these trainings, you will receive a certificate. You'll need to print out the certificate or get a screenshot of your certificate and attach it to the learning activity that we'll be completing this week. So there are 2 things that you'll need to do, 2 activities that you'll be earning certificates on that you'll simply copy to the learning activity. So to take a look at the key points from chapter 6, you'll want to pay attention to these items as you read the chapter as well as the PowerPoint. That will help you better understand the role of ethical codes and federal regulations that serve to guide our research in the U.S. And so these are all of the rules that we have to adhere to and the ethical reasons behind it. So that's really the crux of the chapter. Now, to take you to the weekly folder, you'll see that there's a PowerPoint posted there for you. The learning activity I've got opened up here as well. This is a 2-parter. The first part, you're going to use the chapter 6 textbook, the information from the chapter 6 in the textbook, and you're going to simply answer this different case study questions that are listed here for you. And so these will relate back to the topics of the chapter. So there's one on plagiarism, fabrication of data, authorship, and then you'll see there's the web link to take you to the Indiana University Avoiding Plagiarism website. And then there's an area, so you'll copy and paste your certificate as well right here. And then you'll post a screenshot from your city training here for your week 6 learning activity. I did provide step-by-step instructions on how to complete and sign up for your create an account for your city program. So follow these steps and that will help you complete the modules that are required of you. But I do provide the links. So here's the link for the Indiana University website, and then here's the link for the city training website as well. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and that's going to bring you to this page. That step-by-step handout that's there for you on the learning activity will walk you through each of those. So you'll go to the website, and for myself, since I already have a program or an account, I would simply select the login and here I am for my institutional courses. And so I'm going to take a look at the courses. You will complete the Group 2 faculty, staff, graduate students, and undergraduate students human research course. And so this is the group that you will do. And then after that's completed, let me see if I can. So here's the required modules for Group 2. And then you'll see that there are some optional modules for Group 2 as well. Now there's a whole lot of them. And what I'd like you to do is, depending on the topic that you're researching this summer, you're going to choose the 5 most relevant options, and you're going to complete those modules as well. So you're going to do the Group 2 required modules. That's what everybody does in order to earn their certificate. But then, according to what your topic is for the summer, so let's say you're an athletic admin student and you want to research high school students' perceptions of music, or how warm-up music affects their flow of the game. Well, depending on the population that you're working with, you are going to need additional modules. And so perhaps you want to be able to do this through the internet. So you would choose the internet optional, internet-based research optional site, and you would start that and you would read through that module and complete that module. So you're going to choose any 5 of the optional modules to complete, in addition to the required modules for Group 2. Okay, so I hope that clears any confusion up as you're reading through your exercise. But you want to complete Group 2 required modules, and then you'll choose any 5 of the optional modules to complete as well. And then you can print out your certificate, and you can send those, attach those to the learning activity, and then you'll be good to go for the learning activity for the week. So I hope that clears up any confusion. Again, use this weekly activity or weekly outline to help guide your learning. The due dates for what is for each of your activities that you've got due are listed on your checklist. And so use this as a tool for your success. I'm getting a lot of emails from students, and I'm seeing a lot of confusion on understanding what needs to be done. And so I think if you use this weekly outline as a tool for staying organized, it's going to help you stay on track with that. And you can find the weekly outlines and the very first item in every folder each week. So make sure that you go through that for the week. Also, there's a getting ready for the midterm folder. I have just updated that. I apologize for not getting that put into week 3's, but since I'm working ahead, I'll send out an email, and I'll get folks alerted to that's posted in this week 4. But I updated the scoring guide, so to take a look at that, what you're basically going to do is you're going to write your best first draft of your synthesis project, which is just chapters 1 and 2 of your synthesis. But you'll need a title page, an abstract, your introduction, which is basically what you're working through during week 3's assignment, and then your methods, which was week 2, using the keywords. So you'll see a lot of this becoming familiar. It's like, oh yeah, we did this a couple of weeks ago. And so here's the scoring guide for you and the requirements that you need to complete the midterm. So you're going to write the first part. Part 1 is you're going to basically write your rough draft. You will have references, and you'll include 2 appendices. The first will be your article grid that you should be putting together this week and getting a start on that. So you'll include your updated article grid in the paper, as well as Appendix A. And then Appendix B, you're going to answer questions related to your Chapter 1. And so if you go to Part 2, Appendix B, or your Part 2 answers, so if we scroll down, you'll see Appendix B. And you want to follow or answer the following questions regarding your topic using appropriate in-text citations, which means I'm going to expect you to go to the textbooks, whether it's reading and understanding research or conducting and reading research in kinesiology. I'm going to ask you to justify your answers back to those points in the text, because this is all about you being able to understand the components of research and being able to justify why you're doing each of those based on best practices in research and theory. And so you'll need to answer these questions. They're 5 points apiece, and make sure that you're paying attention to your spell check, your grammar check, everything. Your in-text citations need to be spot on, and to make sure that your in-text citations are correct, you need to be using your APA manual. And so this is putting together all of those pieces that we've been doing for the first 2 to 3 weeks, and now you're starting to put it together in a real tangible project, which is going to be your synthesis. Okay, and so within the midterm folder, there's a video on how to synthesize your work. I would definitely watch that as well. But your midterm guidelines are attached, and they are there for you. And your midterm, again, it will be due on July 3rd. And so now's the time to be really thinking about it, to get ready to complete that. And if we go to the synthesis project page folder, you'll be able to see a couple of exemplars. And if you go to the how to complete a synthesis project, there's examples of the synthesis projects for Dr. Peterson. There's a couple of examples in here. Read through each of these and you'll have an idea of what it should look like, what your chapters 1 and 2 should look like. These are actual synthesis projects that were completed in PES 798. I'm posting these as exemplars as far as like how it should be formatted, paying attention to how the students worded different things, how they put their projects together. You will not have this first 2 pages like this because you're not in PES 798. You won't have a table of contents either. You'll have an abstract. You'll have a title page and an abstract, and a chapter 1 and a chapter 2. So scroll through and read through these examples of different chapters 1s and 2s, and you'll have better understanding of um, what your paper should look like. You're not going to have the depth because we're just scratching the surface with your 5-6 articles that you're choosing for the summer. And so we're just scratching the surface with that. So this is really meant for you to be to help you understand what it should look like, formatting and where your assumptions should be, your delimitations, and how to format those using APA, which again you'll get in your manual. So that's what I've got for you this week. Let me get back to I think it's still running. So that's what I have for you this week. I hope you have a better understanding of weeks 4. If you have any questions, again, use the Ask the Professor website or discussion forum and click and subscribe to that forum so you're alerted when there's questions and answers posted. And so you have, again, a better understanding of what you need to do. All right, have a great week.